Today is a very special day. Why? Because we're going to be talking about playing drums on push for the first time. Yeah, I'm just as excited as you. And I'm going to show you how to play the drum beat for my new slap, Fantasy Delight. I got the same drum sounds from the actual track and everything. I'm going to show you how to play that beat verbatim. So let's get in there and check this out. So right off the bat, we've got this layout here when you put together a drum rack on push. It's much different than what we've been looking at. These regions right here, we're going to get to those. Right now we're just going to focus on the bottom 16 right here. It's kind of like the MPC pad 16. And you can place your drums anywhere on here. Now right now I've just got 4 drums from the basic Fantasy Delight groove, and it's the actual drum sounds. We got the kick, we got snare 1, we got snare 2, and we got the hi-hat. Now all these drums you can find on Splice. These 3 are all from my boy Decap, and this is from Arab Music. Let's talk a little bit about where you want to put your drums here. I like to put my kicks and snares on the left side in a kind of very vertical way so that my left hand can play them all together, kind of like a melody. I think of the relationship between the kick and the snare as being very melodic. It's like if you had a keyboard with just 2 notes on it. You know, think of like most beats, it's like boom, kick, boom, boom, kick, boom, boom, kick, boom, boom, kick. If you were to like imagine the piano roll of the kick and snare going along, it's just like this 2 little note thing happening that you end up doing with these, in this case, these 3 fingers. The thumb is going to play the kick, the pointer will play first snare, and the middle will play the second snare. And you see how they fall very nicely on the hand here, you know, just nice, easy, relaxed hand shape, just kind of right there. And the right hand is doing a whole other different part, a contrapuntal part. And it's going to be doing the steady 8th note pulse of the hi-hat. Now just do that with your right pointer finger, or index, I'll leave that up to you. I think pointer is a little easier. And try and get the actual note happening from the wrist. It's kind of like this easy little buoyancy. It's kind of almost like you're flicking it and gravity's doing most of the work. Yeah. This is something we've talked about for quite some time, having this kind of like loose wrist bounce. And driving force on the push from the wrist as opposed to trying to muscle it out with the fingers, which is much harder. So let's add to this. We've got the steady hi-hat. So let's add the snare on 2 and 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, Every other snare, I'm going to add the second finger, the middle finger. Okay, this is going good. Here goes the kick. Just on downbeats right now. Nice and chill. Now I'm going to add the hand of 3. There it is. Ooh. So dope. So simple. You can even mess around with it. Add more kicks on the 8th note. You can do dropouts. I love doing that. Yeah, you could create so much variation just by using the delete key. Now in this instance, the delete key is going to have to be in your brain. You can't just hit the delete key on the keyboard. It's going to be the not playing of notes, especially when you have a steady pattern like this 8th note in the hi-hat. What's going to make things interesting is where you take out notes, even more so than the notes that you add. Now the basic underlying feel for this groove is a variation of a universal rhythm. And we've talked about universal rhythms. It's different ways to break up the eighth notes in a measure into groupings of 2s and 3s. Now the most common ones involve 2 sets of 3 and a 2, and you could rearrange them any which way you want, and they're all very interesting variations. Now the way you figure out what the universal rhythm is through the kick drum. The kick drum is the subdivider. It's where those stomps happen. Now in this case, it's 5 and 3, but if you were to break that down, it would become 3, 2, 3. And I'll show you what I mean by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Now we could easily make this a 3, 2, 3 universal rhythm, like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And you could rearrange these any way you want. Let's try 2, 3, 3. That's interesting. Let's try 3, 3, 2. That's cool too. So you could use these universal rhythms to create all sorts of grooves, even with just a very, very simple context, even with just a simple 8th note pulse and a snare on 2 and 4, and find different ways to put together these 3s and 2s. What's the next step? Maybe you could try combining 2 of these universal rhythm variations back to back to create a 2-measure, loop. What if we did 3, 2, 3, and then 3, 3, 2? 2, 3. Bam, and you just keep going from there. You could keep duplicating your loop length or your groove length and just keep creating variations to make something that spans out as long as you need it to be, so that it doesn't sound repetitive, but still is always on these very groovy, earthy, tried and true, primal, instinctual, coming from the heart, universal rhythms. They always work, they always sound good, they always make you want to move your ass. That's all for today. That's an introduction to playing drums on push. Much more to come. Thank you so much for watching. So much love. Stay Swest, y'all.